About that brother Earl, his wife Rosalie. Kind of gets me also thinking about my parents. They've been gone quite a while now. Earl and Rosalie, great gardeners. And my sister was pretty fair gardener. Wayne and Em, my youngest brother and his wife, and now his son and his wife and his mother family over in western Missouri. Boy, do they garden. Picked a lot of nice okra there just this last summer when I was going through. Earl and Rosalie might have been the showiest, made the best impression in their neighborhood with their flowers. And Wayne and Em and that group probably had the best gardens. I've about given up gardening. Oh, a few tomatoes, try a few things like that. Right now trying to get a little asparagus started. But mainly I've gone to flowers. I like flowers. And I find a lot of people appreciate flowers if I take them to them. Particularly the sweet peas. We've got a few sweet peas. Quite a few. Picked them pretty heavy last night, so we could take a lot of sweet peas out today. And we've got nasturtiums. Lots of nasturtiums. And somewhere down in here there's a couple of bulbs for amaryllis. And got some hollyhocks. Still got those old deer horns. And down in here, you just about can't even see them at all. There is an asparagus plant. Another one over there. A couple more on up the line. Man, I worked hard to get those asparagus plants in. Put in 16, and I think maybe I've got 3 or 4 plants that look like they're going to make it. And of course, these are snow peas. I like snow peas in stir fry. And making stir fry is one of my major contributions to the cooking around this place. Now these babies are setting on. They're part of the flowers that I planted after we got back here after Thanksgiving. And you guys that are rose gardeners know that we're gonna have roses. Trimmed these way back about a month ago. Lots of new growth now coming on. These big green jobbies, trim mostly on my side of the thing. Probably ought to get over there and trim the other side, but used to be my neighbor said he liked that shade. Maybe he still does, don't know. But that's oleander, the poisonous plant. And boy, I'm telling you, when they tell you that baby's poisonous, I sort of thought, well, yeah. And they said, no, don't use any of these twigs to roast your weenies. Well, I never did. But I was dumbfounded here a few years ago when I read in the paper that 2 little children, little orphans that had been adopted in the United States out here on the West Coast from Russia, died when the neighbors were burning oleander dry twigs. Holy mackerel, that's a really poisonous plant right here in my yard. This baby up here, not doing too well, but I babied along. It's a bottlebrush tree. We like it. And over here we've got Easter lilies. I don't think they're going to probably bloom by Easter time, but they're coming along. Coming along. This plant is what is called a oops, got away from me right now. It'll come back after a while. More lilies. Don and I call these Johnny Jump-Ups. They're some sort of like a daffodil, one of the early comers and early bloomers. Got some sweet peas along the edge over here, down here, that they're not getting enough sun. They're not going to do much. This is the firecracker plant, broken all off down to the stubs. It's the one that when it goes to seed, it'll fire shells at you when the seeds are dry and they get wet. Oh, this climber rose, give it another month, we'll have lots of roses over here on this from the climber. This is a corner that seems like it comes up best every year, volunteer. Not only the lilies, but the sweet peas. I do like the flowers. I like them enough that if they come up volunteer out in the yard, I mow around them. What the heck? A flower's a flower, wherever you get it. This is Donna's wheelbarrow. She bought me a new wheelbarrow and said make a flower bed out of the old one, and say it does do well. Just as pretty as it can be now, and it'll get a lot prettier. It's just getting well established. Roy and his family gave us the little windmill, and with the windmill and the wheelbarrow, it makes quite a nice little arrangement. Well, I want to say a little bit more about that gardening thing. We had a garden on the farm. We raised potatoes. I think I've mentioned somewhere else about going out and picking the potato bugs one by one, dropping them into a can of kerosene. Does them in. The thing that surprised me over the years, though, was to find out that Dad evidently was so prejudiced about certain foods that there was never a squash in our garden, never a pepper plant. I guess that also fits in with the fact that I found out later that we don't have spaghetti at our house, that Dad didn't apparently like spaghetti. Oh man, those males that think they're in charge and are, they set the tone on a lot of things. But certainly gardening was one of our big projects, or my big projects in 4-H. And nobody ever told me you ought to diversify a little more and get some squash and some peppers and so on. Just raise the things that Dad and Mom seemed to want us to raise. But I think it was having that garden at home, and Donna remembers leading the horse to plow their garden, so that she comes from a gardening family and a canning family. My mom, I don't remember doing much canning, but hers did a lot of canning. So we have a tradition both on my side and Donna's side for gardening, but our family has a strong gardening tradition coming down from Mom and Dad, probably on back to the grandparent Harmons and the grandparent Riggses. But the champions on those flowers and so on, not me. Earl Riggs and Rosalie Riggs. Way to go, guys.